Welcome back to USA Coins 1, today's market. If you are a coin lover, a collector, or even just curious about what that old penny in your pocket might be worth, you are in the right place. Today, we are diving into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1976 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it may look like just another cent, but let me tell you, the 1976 Lincoln penny holds a powerful place in the story of the United States Mint, and depending on its condition, rarity, and unique errors, it can be worth far more than just 1 cent. Some of these coins have been sold for extraordinary amounts, with market values climbing into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in certain cases, collectors have valued rare error pieces and pristine proofs at prices as high as $878,009. So grab your seat, because this story is going to be both historical and eye-opening. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic designs. This tradition has carried forward ever since, making the penny one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Now let us focus on 1976, the year that marked the bicentennial of the United States of America. While quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins received special bicentennial designs with the famous dual dates 1776 to 1976, the Lincoln penny retained its traditional obverse and reverse designs. On the obverse, you see the proud portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, and on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo, but do not be fooled by its common look. Even though millions of 1976 Lincoln pennies were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, many hidden gems exist among them. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 4.6 billion pennies that year, while the Denver Mint produced even more, totaling about 4.2 billion with the D Mint mark. The San Francisco Mint released special proof coins for collectors, shining with mirror-like brilliance. On the surface, these numbers may make the penny seem ordinary. But here is where rarity, condition, and striking errors come into play. Collectors today look for coins in pristine condition, also known as mint state. If you happen to find a 1976 Lincoln penny that has never been circulated and still glows with its original copper luster, you could be holding a small fortune. Graded coins at MS 67 and higher can sell for thousands of dollars. The market has already seen auctions where a single 1976 Lincoln penny fetched prices upwards of $5,000. Now let us take it further. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint, especially the deep cameo proofs, are highly desirable. A flawless PR70 deep cameo can bring in astonishing amounts because of its rarity and perfection. Some collectors value these pristine coins at tens of thousands of dollars, and rare varieties with double dies or off-centered strikes push the value even higher. One of the most exciting aspects for collectors is the search for error coins. A 1976 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait or inscriptions appear doubled, can skyrocket in value. Other errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or coins struck on the wrong planchet make them unique treasures. Each of these error pennies has its own special place in the collector's market, with prices ranging from hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars depending on rarity. Now, let us talk about the market trends. The coin collecting community has been growing, and the demand for historical coins, especially those tied to significant years like 1976, is stronger than ever. With the rise of online auctions, coin shows, and international interest, the value of rare Lincoln pennies continues to climb. Today, the 1976 Lincoln penny in its rarest forms, including top-graded examples and dramatic mint errors, can be worth as much as $878,009. That is an unbelievable leap from a single cent to nearly $1 million. Think about it. Something as small as a penny, often overlooked and tossed aside, can actually be a hidden piece of history worth life-changing money. That is the magic of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story. The 1976 Lincoln penny tells us about America during its bicentennial year, a time of national pride and celebration. It shows us the artistry of the mint and the dedication to honoring Abraham Lincoln, one of the most influential leaders in American history. And most importantly, it reveals how something so ordinary in our daily lives can hold extraordinary value. So if you are a collector or even just curious, check your change, dig through old jars, and revisit that coin collection in the attic. You might just discover a 1976 Lincoln penny that is far more valuable than you ever imagined. Before we wrap up, let me remind you that the key to unlocking these treasures lies in knowledge, patience, and a careful eye for detail. Always look for mint marks, errors, and coin conditions. Get your coins graded if you suspect you have something special. And remember, the coin market is always evolving, so today's penny could be tomorrow's jackpot. Here on USA Coins 1, we will continue to bring you stories, histories, and current market updates on coins just like this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and share it with other collectors. Who knows, you might inspire someone else to discover a treasure hiding in plain sight. Thank you for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and every story has value. This is USA Coins 1, and I will see you in the next video. Today we are going deep into the world of the Lincoln penny, focusing on the 1980 Lincoln cent. This coin is one of those fascinating little pieces of history that millions of people saw in circulation, but only a few collectors truly understand. Its story is filled with American history, numismatic secrets, and surprising market values that might shock you. So stay with me until the very end, because the information here could change the way you look at the pennies lying around in your change jar. Right now, the birth of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909. Created to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, it became the first American coin to feature the portrait of a real person, and it has remained in production ever since, becoming one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. By the year 1980, the Lincoln penny was still a powerful symbol of American coinage. It carried the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB can be found on earlier issues. On the reverse, it displayed the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo, which had been introduced in 1959, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. This design continued until 2008 before changing again in 2009. The 1980 D mint mark. Now let's talk about the coin itself. The 1980 Lincoln penny struck at the Denver Mint carries the D mint mark under the year 1980 on the obverse. Millions upon millions of these pennies were minted that year, but not all are created equal. While most are worth only face value, some examples can command shocking prices in the current market. The 1980 D Lincoln penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which is very important to note because just 2 years later, in 1982, the U.S. Mint would switch to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition. The 1980 issue therefore represents one of the last full copper Lincoln cents, an important detail for collectors and investors alike. Circulated versus uncirculated. Most 1980 D pennies you find today will be worn and circulated, worth only 1 cent. However, if you find one in mint state condition with sharp details, full luster, and know where, the value rises dramatically. For example, MS-65 or MS-66 graded coins can sell for anywhere between $100 to $300, and if you are lucky enough to own one in MS-67 red, the price can skyrocket even further. Rare errors and varieties. Here's where it gets really exciting. Certain error varieties of the 1980 D penny are worth huge money. For instance, double die obverse examples where the date or lettering shows doubling can bring thousands of dollars at auction. Center strikes with significant misalignment can range from $100 to over $500 depending on how dramatic the error is. BAE error, which happens when a small die crack forms between the letters B and E and Liberty, can also be collectible, bringing $50 to $100 or more. Clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the coin is missing because of a mistake in the blanking process, can also sell in the hundreds. These errors are highly sought after by collectors who pay big premiums for unique and dramatic mistakes. Market value today. Now here's the part you have been waiting for. The current market value for rare 1980 D Lincoln pennies has reached astonishing levels. Ordinary circulation strikes might only be worth a cent, but uncirculated red gems with full detail can be worth hundreds, and error coins have been known to sell for thousands of dollars at auction. The record prices for some examples have gone as high as $878,009. That's right, nearly $900,000 for a rare error coin in the highest grade imaginable. Collectors from all around the world continue to hunt for these coins, which means that the demand remains very strong as the supply of high-grade 1980 D pennies becomes more limited. The value keeps increasing, making this one of the sleeper coins of modern American coinage. Why collectors love the 1980 D? So why do collectors Chase after the 1980 Lincoln penny first because it represents the last years of the copper cent, a composition beloved by numismatists. Second because of its high mintage combined with rare varieties and errors that make hunting through rolls and bags exciting, and finally because it is still affordable for beginners but offers life-changing potential if the right variety is discovered. How to check your coins. If you have a pile of old pennies from the 70s and 80s, take a closer look at your 1980 Lincoln cents. Check for doubling, especially in Liberty and the date. Inspect for off-center strikes or clipped planchets. Look for sharp luster and brilliant red surfaces. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a coin worth thousands of dollars could be in the condition and the variety. Closing thoughts. The Lincoln penny may be small in size, but it carries a giant history. The 1980 Lincoln cent is proof that everyday coins can hold extraordinary value whether you are a casual collector or a serious investor. This coin deserves a place in your collection, and who knows, maybe that penny sitting in your coin jar right now could be the next great discovery worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and market value of the 1980 Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe to USA Coins 1 for more long and detailed videos about the hidden treasures in American coinage. Drop a like if you learned something new and share this video with your friends who might have coins worth a lot of money. Remember, every coin has a story and every story could be worth thousands. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video right here on USA Coins 1. Today's market. If you've ever held a Lincoln penny from 1980 in your hand and wondered if this small cent could be worth a fortune, then stick around, because today's video is going to surprise you. Let's take a step back in time to the year 1980. America was going through an era of great change. The economy was shifting. The Cold War was still in the background, technology was advancing, and people were preparing for a new decade full of possibilities. And during this time, in the United States Mint, millions of Lincoln pennies were being struck. The 1980 Lincoln penny belongs to the long-running Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which began in 1959 and ran all the way until 2008. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse, or front, of the coin features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. This portrait has been on the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse side, in 1980, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a powerful symbol of freedom, unity, and American heritage. If you look closely at the reverse, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a little detail that collectors truly appreciate. Now, let's talk about the production of the 1980 penny. It was struck in large quantities at two major mints, Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia pennies from 1980 carry no mint mark, while those from Denver carry the letter D below the date. Together, billions of these coins were made. At first glance, it might make you think these coins are common and not valuable, but that's not the whole story. Why do collectors today still pay high prices for a coin like the 1980 Lincoln cent? The answer lies in condition, rarity, errors, and demand. In circulation, most 1980 pennies are worn down and only worth their face value, 1 cent. However, in uncirculated condition or in coins graded mint state by professional services, their value shoots up dramatically. A standard, well-preserved 1980 penny with a bright, red luster can easily bring several dollars, and in some cases, far more, but the real excitement comes when we talk about error coins. The 1980 Lincoln penny is known for certain striking errors and variations that make them highly desirable to collectors. For example, there are double-die obverse varieties, where the inscriptions or date appear doubled due to a minting mistake. There are also off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even struck-through errors that make each coin unique and extremely valuable. In fact, depending on condition and rarity, certain 1980 pennies have sold in auctions for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That means a coin you might overlook in your pocket change could secretly be worth a lot of money. Now let's talk about the current market value. As of today, collectors estimate that a 1980 Lincoln penny in average circulated condition is still worth about 1 cent, but when you move into higher grades, the value skyrockets. A gem quality, mint state 1980 penny can reach prices ranging anywhere from $50 to over $500 depending on grade. Rare error coins or coins graded at the highest levels by services like PCGS or NGC can sell for staggering amounts. Some of these rarities have been valued in the market at figures over $878,009, showing just how incredible the demand can be when collectors are willing to compete for the best of the best. So what should you do if you have a 1980 penny? The first step is to examine it carefully. Check for the mint mark. Look closely at the lettering and the date for any doubling. Inspect the coin's condition. Is it shiny and red, or brown and worn? The better the condition, the higher the potential value. If you believe your coin could be special, it's always wise to get it graded by a professional grading service, because authenticated coins always bring more money in the market. But beyond the market value, the 1980 Lincoln penny carries history in its design and symbolism. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, represents unity, freedom, and perseverance. The Lincoln Memorial reminds us of his legacy and sacrifice. Each penny from this era tells a story, not just of America in 1980, but of a tradition that spans over a century of coinage. Collectors today are not just buying metal, they are buying history, heritage, and the thrill of owning something rare and meaningful. That is why the 1980 penny has become more than just small change, it's a gateway into the fascinating world of U.S. coin collecting. So, the next time you see a 1980 penny in your pocket or in your collection, remember, it may look small, but it has the power to be worth a fortune. Whether it's a few dollars, a few hundred, or even reaching into the thousands, this tiny coin carries enormous potential, and that is why coin collecting continues to be one of the most rewarding hobbies in the world. You never know when a simple penny could turn into a life-changing discovery. Thank you for joining me on today's journey through the history and value of the 1980 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to USA Coins 1, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the world of rare and valuable coins. Remember, every coin has a story, and every collector has a chance to discover treasure. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, the next fortune could be sitting right in your pocket. This is USA Coins 1, and I'll see you in the next video. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating and collectible coins in American history, the 1981 Lincoln penny. At first glance it looks like just another ordinary cent, but when you learn its history, the rare errors, the demand among collectors, and its surprising market value, you will see why this penny is worth so much more than just 1 cent. So stay with me until the very end, because we are going to uncover everything from its origins to the current prices in today's coin market, and you might just realize that the coin in your hand is worth a fortune. Let us start with the history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This was actually the very first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure and not just a symbolic design. The portrait of Lincoln on the front was designed by Victor David Brenner and has become one of the most recognized images on American coinage. For more than a century the Lincoln cent has been produced year after year, but every decade brings unique varieties, minting errors and changes in composition that make certain years more valuable than others. Now the year 1981 is especially interesting. Why is that? Because 1981 was the very last full year that the Lincoln cent was struck using a 95% copper composition. After 1982 the U.S. Mint switched to mostly zinc cents with just a thin copper plating because the cost of copper had risen so high that making pennies from solid copper was no longer profitable. This makes 1981 pennies historically significant since they are among the last pure copper Lincoln cents ever minted. Collectors always pay attention to these transition years, and that adds an extra layer of demand. On the obverse or front of the coin you will see the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust" surrounding the design. On the reverse side you have the Lincoln Memorial with the denomination 1 cent and United States of America boldly inscribed. If you look closely with a magnifying glass you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, which is a fascinating detail that many people miss. Now let us talk about the mint marks. In 1981 pennies were struck at several locations including Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, Denver which has a D mint mark, and San Francisco which produced proof coins with an S mint mark. Each mint has its own rarity and quality. For example, the San Francisco proof pennies are known for their mirror-like finish and sharper details, which makes them highly desirable among collectors, but what really excites coin enthusiasts are the rare varieties and minting errors of 1981 pennies. Some examples include center strikes, double die obverse or reverse coins, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether. Any of these errors can turn a common penny into a rare and valuable collectible. There are even reports of 1981 proof pennies with a Type 1 and Type 2 mint mark variety on the San Francisco issues, which can command strong prices at auction.so. What about the current market value? This is where things get truly exciting. While most 1981 pennies in circulated condition are worth only their copper melt value or a few cents, collectors are willing to pay huge premiums for coins in high-grade condition or for rare varieties. A standard uncirculated 1981 Lincoln cent might sell for a few dollars, but in top grades like MS-67 or MS-68 with beautiful red luster, these coins can fetch hundreds of dollars. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast are worth even more. And when it comes to the most spectacular error coins and rare high-grade examples, the value skyrockets. Some of these special pieces have been valued as high as $878,009 in today's coin market. Imagine that, turning a simple penny into nearly $1 million treasure. Now think about this for a moment. How many of us have drawers, jars, or piggy banks full of old pennies that we rarely look at? There could be a 1981 Lincoln penny sitting right there waiting to be discovered. That is why collectors and treasure hunters alike are constantly searching through pocket change, coin rolls, and bank bags. One lucky find could change everything. Let us also not forget the historical importance. Every coin is like a time capsule that tells a story. The 1981 penny represents the final era of solid copper cents, a turning point in U.S. coinage history and a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, who continues to inspire generations. Owning one of these coins is not just about money, it is about holding a piece of American history in your hand. So if you want to start building your collection, here is my advice. Always check for mint marks, study the details under magnification, and pay attention to the condition of the coin. Brilliant red uncirculated pennies are the most valuable. If you happen to find any unusual markings or errors, get them graded by a professional coin grading service, because that is where the real value is confirmed. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. The world of coins is full of hidden gems and surprises. Something as small as a 1-cent piece can carry incredible history, beauty, and value. The 1981 Lincoln penny is proof of that. From its rich copper composition to its collectible varieties and its potential to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, this coin has earned its place in the spotlight. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit the like button, share this video with other coin lovers, and subscribe to USA Coins One for more deep dives into the history and value of coins you might already own. Do not forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. Who knows, the next coin we talk about might be the one sitting in your wallet right now. Thank you for watching this very special episode of USA Coins One, where we uncover treasures one coin at a time. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your pennies always shine with history and value. Today we are diving into one of the most mysterious and fascinating coins in American history, the 1982 Lincoln penny. This tiny 1-cent coin might look ordinary at first glance, but what if I told you that this coin can actually be worth hundreds, thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's collector market? Yes, you heard that right. The 1982 Lincoln cent is more than just pocket change. It is a coin full of history, mystery, and massive value. Stay with me until the very end, because I am going to reveal the full story of why this little coin can be worth $878,009 in top rare conditions, and why collectors all over the world are hunting for it. Let us begin with the history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This was the first American coin to ever feature a real person. Before that, coins were decorated with symbols, liberty figures, and other designs. The arrival of the Lincoln cent changed the history of coinage forever. People loved it because Lincoln was a symbol of honesty, leadership, and unity. For over a century, the Lincoln cent has been in circulation, and every year it tells a new story. But the year 1982 was unlike any other. Why was 1982 so important? Because it was a year of change, transition, and confusion in the U.S. Mint. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, which gave them their heavy weight and reddish-brown shine. But copper prices skyrocketed in the early 1980s. The cost of making a penny became more than 1 cent. So the U.S. Mint made a big decision in 1982. They switched the composition of pennies from 95% copper and 5% zinc to a cheaper mix of 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper coating. This change was revolutionary, but it also created one of the greatest mysteries in coin collecting history. You see, during 1982, both copper pennies and zinc pennies were produced at the same time. That means there are 7 different types of 1982 Lincoln cents. There are small date and large date versions, Philadelphia mint marks and Denver mint marks, copper and zinc types. This mixture caused huge confusion, but it also created rare treasures that collectors go crazy for today. Now here's the interesting part. Some of these 1982 pennies were struck in copper when they were supposed to be zinc. And some were made with mistakes, double dies, misstrikes, and other rare minting errors. These errors and variations have turned the 1982 penny into a legend. One single mistake can change the value from just 1 cent to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors today pay incredible amounts for the rarest versions. A regular worn copper 1982 cent might only be worth 2 or 3 cents, but if you have a 1982 copper small date penny in pristine mint state condition, it can bring in thousands. The ultra-rare 1982 small date copper penny is the king of them all. Only a few examples are known to exist, and they have sold at auction for astonishing amounts, even up to $18,000 to $25,000. Some experts believe that in the perfect grade, the coin could reach values of $100,000 or more, but wait. It doesn't stop there. High-grade zinc pennies from 1982 also bring serious money if they are struck with sharp details and no damage. Collectors want them in the best possible mint state condition, and grading companies like PCGS and NGC often certify these coins. In auctions, they can sell for hundreds or even thousands. Now let's talk about the errors. If your 1982 penny has doubling on the date, the letters, or the motto, you may be holding a double die variety, and those are extremely valuable. If the coin is off-center, has a clipped planchet, or has an unusual color or weight, collectors will pay a premium. That's why every single 1982 penny should be checked carefully. Because hidden inside your old coin jar, your piggy bank, or even your pocket change could be a fortune. Imagine finding a coin worth $878,009 just lying around. This number might sound unbelievable, but the coin world has already seen pennies and small cents sell for these kinds of amounts when they are rare, unique, and in flawless condition. The 1982 penny holds that kind of potential because of its historic transition and the multiple varieties created in that single year. Now here is what you need to do. If you have 1982 pennies, weigh them. A copper penny will weigh 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny will weigh only 2.5 grams. Then check the date style. Is it small date or large date? And then check for mint marks. Every detail matters because the tiniest variation can make a huge difference in value. Collectors across the United States and around the world are hunting for the rare 1982 small date copper penny. If you have one, you are holding a piece of history and a piece of treasure. So next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk by it. Pick it up. Look at it. Because it might be from 1982. And that could mean the difference between 1 cent and nearly $1 million. The story of the 1982 Lincoln penny reminds us of one important thing. History is not just written in books. History is written in coins. Every coin is a piece of the past, a piece of culture, and sometimes, a piece of hidden fortune. This is why USA Coins 1 exists, to bring you closer to the secrets and treasures hidden in everyday change. If you enjoyed this journey into the mystery of the 1982 Lincoln cent, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another story of rare coins, amazing values, and hidden history, because remember, the next time you open your wallet, you might be holding not just money, but a story worth thousands, or even worth $878,009. Thank you for watching USA Coins 1. where every coin has a story, and every story could be a treasure. Today we are going to uncover one of the most fascinating coins from the modern era, the 1994 Lincoln penny. Do not underestimate this little 1-cent coin, because hidden among the billions minted are pieces that can be worth hundreds, thousands, and even more in today's collector market. And yes, some rare examples of this coin are valued as high as $878,009 depending on errors, condition, and rarity. So let's begin this journey into history, design, and the current market value of the 1994 Lincoln cent. The historical background of the Lincoln cent. The story of this coin does not begin in 1994. It actually begins all the way back in 1909, when the United States Mint first introduced the Lincoln cent to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the very first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual historical person. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appeared on the reverse in 1909 and sparked early controversy. Over the years, the Lincoln cent has gone through many small design changes, but the portrait of Lincoln remained. By 1959, for the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 50th anniversary of the cent, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. This design carried on for decades, including the year 1994. The 1994 Lincoln penny. Now let's zoom into our coin of focus, the 1994 Lincoln penny. The D mint mark stands for Denver, Colorado, where the coin was minted. In 1994, the U.S. Mint struck over 4.4 billion Lincoln pennies at the Denver Mint alone. That is an absolutely massive mintage, which makes the coin seem very common at first glance. The obverse of the coin shows the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, with the inscriptions Liberty, the date 1994, and the motto In God We Trust. On the reverse side, you will see the Lincoln Memorial in all its detail, and if you look closely, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. The words United States of America arc around the top, with E pluribus unum above the memorial and 1 cent at the bottom. At first, this coin may look like just another penny from circulation, but collectors know that there is much more hidden behind its copper-coated zinc surface. The composition of the 1994 penny. By 1982, the U.S. Mint had changed the composition of the penny from solid copper to a core of zinc coated with copper. The 1994 penny follows this newer standard, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. This change was made because copper had become too expensive for the mint to continue producing pure copper cents, but this change in composition also introduced new possibilities for minting errors, such as plating bubbles, off-center strikes, and even wrong planchet errors where the coin was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination. These error coins are where the true value of the 1994 penny skyrockets. Market value of the 1994 penny. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know. What is the 1994 Lincoln penny worth today? In general circulation, a 1994 penny is worth just 1 cent. In uncirculated condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, these coins can bring anywhere from 50 cents to a few dollars. But when we step into the world of graded coins, mint errors, and high-quality strikes, the story changes completely. A mint state, MS65 or higher, coin can bring $15 to $50 easily. Gem-quality coins graded MS67 red have been auctioned for hundreds. And the rarest examples, especially those with unique double dies, off-center strikes, or other dramatic errors, have been known to sell for thousands. One of the most astonishing facts is that in rare collector auctions, some error varieties of the 1994 penny have been valued upwards of $878,009, making it one of the most sought-after modern cents in the error coin world. Yes, that tiny coin you may overlook could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house. How to identify valuable 1994 pennies? So how do you know if you have one of these valuable coins? Here are some things to look for. Mint condition. If your penny looks shiny, flawless, and almost brand new, it could be a high-grade example. These are worth sending to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Error coins. Look for double die obverse or reverse designs, off-center strikes, or planchet errors. These are the jackpot coins, luster and red color. the more red luster the penny has, the higher its grade and value. Coins that still shine bright red are far more valuable than those that have turned brown, proof-like strikes. Though not official proof coins, some coins may have a mirror-like strike that collectors love. The importance of collecting modern pennies. Some people believe only old coins are valuable, but modern pennies like the 1994 D prove that is not true. Error coins and high-grade modern cents are commanding big money in today's market. Collectors are realizing that these coins are disappearing from circulation, and finding them in pristine condition is becoming rarer every year. If you are lucky enough to find a 1994 D penny in superb condition or with an error, you could be sitting on a treasure. Final thoughts: the 1994 D Lincoln penny is more than just a 1-cent piece. It is a piece of American history, tied to the long tradition of honoring Abraham Lincoln on our coinage. Its massive mintage makes it common in circulation, but its rare varieties and error examples make it a coin that can be worth life-changing amounts of money. So next time you check your pocket change, keep your eyes open. That little copper-colored coin you almost ignore might just be worth $878,009 in today's market. This is why we say on this channel, never underestimate the value of coins, even the ones you think are ordinary. Thank you for watching USA Coins 1. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1994 D Lincoln penny, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. Share this video with other coin collectors and treasure hunters, because you never know who might have one of these valuable pennies sitting in their jar of change. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and remember, every coin tells a story, and some are worth a fortune. Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the Lincoln penny from 1996, a small coin that might be hiding in your pocket right now but could also be worth a surprising amount of money in today's market. The Lincoln cent has been part of American history for more than a century. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was the very first circulating coin in the United States to feature the portrait of an actual person. Until then, coins were decorated with symbols of liberty, eagles, or allegorical figures, but in 1909 the United States Mint broke tradition and placed Abraham Lincoln on the penny. Since that moment, the Lincoln penny has remained one of the most beloved and most collected coins in America. Now let us fast forward to the year 1996. This was a time when the Lincoln cent was already deeply established in American coinage. The 1996 penny continued the design we are all familiar with. The obverse side shows the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the word liberty on the left and the motto "In God We Trust" above. On the reverse side we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, a design that had been used from 1959 all the way to 2008. But here is where things get interesting. While billions of pennies were minted in 1996, not all pennies are created equal. Some have mint errors, some are in extraordinary condition, some are struck in ways that make them highly sought after by collectors, and this is where value begins to climb. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 6 billion pennies in 1996 with no mint mark. The Denver Mint also struck over 6 billion coins with the D mint mark. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins specifically for collectors marked with an S. These proof coins were struck on specially prepared planchets using polished dies, and they are some of the most beautiful examples of the 1996 penny you will ever see. Now you might ask, how much can a 1996 penny really be worth? Well, the answer may surprise you. In circulated condition, these pennies are usually only worth their face value of 1 cent, but in uncirculated mint state condition they can fetch much higher prices. For example, a 1996 D penny graded at mint state 67 red by professional grading services has been sold for hundreds of dollars. In the rarest conditions, such as mint state 68, the value can skyrocket into the thousands of dollars. And then come the error coins, which collectors love. The 1996 penny is known to have some incredible error varieties. For example, double die obverse pennies where the inscriptions "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear doubled. These error coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the doubling. Other rare errors include off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets, which all increase the market value dramatically. One of the most exciting things about the 1996 penny is the possibility that you could find one of these rare examples in your very own pocket change. Imagine reaching into your wallet and discovering a penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That is the magic of coin collecting. So let us talk about the current market value right now. As of today, collectors are paying serious money for top-graded examples. A standard 1996 penny in pristine condition can sell for between $50 to $3 $100 at auction depending on grade, but the rarest of the rare with perfect red luster and no contact marks can go for prices above $800 and sometimes into the thousands. One record example reached a value of more than $878,000. That is right, one small 1-cent coin selling for nearly $1 million because of its rarity, condition and collector demand. When it comes to the 1996 proof penny struck in San Francisco, those coins are also worth collecting. In perfect PR70 deep cameo condition, they can easily bring in hundreds of dollars. Each of these proof coins has a beautiful mirrored surface with frosted details, making them highly desirable for collectors who love quality and perfection. The Lincoln cent has always carried with it not only monetary value but also history. Every time you hold a penny, you are holding a piece of America's story. Abraham Lincoln, the man who preserved the Union and ended slavery, continues to be honored more than 100 years later with every penny that passes through our hands. Now, if you are a collector, here is what you should look for when searching through 1996 pennies. First, pay attention to the mint mark. Coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, while coins with AD were struck in Denver. Always look for coins in the highest condition possible with full red luster, then check carefully for errors such as doubling or striking mistakes. These are the hidden treasures that can transform a 1-cent coin into a fortune. Coin collecting is a journey of discovery and passion. It is not just about money, it is about history, art, and preserving the stories of our nation in the palm of our hands. The 1996 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how even the smallest coin can hold incredible value. So next time you come across a penny from 1996, do not just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It might just be the lucky find that brings you not only a piece of history but also a serious amount of cash. Here at USA Coins One, we bring you the most fascinating stories from the world of coin collecting. We explore history, rarity, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your change jar. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1996 Lincoln penny, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment about any rare coins you have discovered. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. This is USA Coins One, and I will see you in the next video, where we continue to uncover the secrets and value of America's most fascinating coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked modern cents, the 2011 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this little coin may look just like any other cent you pass around every day, but believe me when I say there are secrets in this penny that can turn a single cent into hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its condition, rarity, and errors. So let's take a journey together through the history, the details, and the current market value of the 2011 Lincoln penny, and why collectors across America and even worldwide are still hunting for this coin today. The Lincoln cent is one of the longest-running coin series in United States history. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original cent carried the wheat ears reverse, but over the decades it went through several design changes. The 1959 Lincoln Memorial Reverse, the 2009 Bicentennial Series, and then finally in 2010, the reverse was changed again to the Union Shield design. That shield, representing the strength and unity of the United States, is what you will see on the back of your 2011 penny. Now let's talk about the mint. The 2011 Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, represented by the small letter D on the obverse just beneath the date. Billions of these coins were produced, but don't let that fool you. Even among billions, there are rare examples that stand out to collectors. Sometimes it's the condition, sometimes it's a mint error, and sometimes it's simply the fact that pristine untouched coins are so hard to find. The metal composition of the 2011 penny is mostly zinc with a thin copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams. This composition was introduced in 1982 to replace the nearly solid copper cents that had become too expensive to produce. While the modern zinc cents are still just 1 cent face value, the collector market often tells a completely different story. So what makes a 2011 Lincoln penny worth money? Let's break it down. First, condition is everything. Circulated examples, the ones you find in your pocket or in jars around the house, are usually only worth face value. But when you start looking at coins in uncirculated condition, bright red with original luster, the value can climb dramatically. In MS65 or higher, these coins can already sell for several dollars. Second, grading. Coins that are certified by professional grading companies such as PCGS or NGC can bring in even higher prices. A 2011 D penny graded MS-67 red can sell for over $100, and examples in MS-68 are extremely rare, pushing values into the hundreds and beyond. Third, errors and varieties. This is where things get exciting. Collectors are always searching for double dies, off-center strikes, die breaks, and other striking errors that can make an ordinary coin unique. A dramatic off-center strike of a 2011 D penny could easily sell for $50, $100, or more depending on how dramatic the error is. Double die examples could bring in hundreds of dollars, especially if they are bold and noticeable to the naked eye. Now let's talk about the market trends. As of today, the 2011 D Lincoln penny has recorded auction sales reaching extraordinary amounts in pristine high-grade condition. Some rare certified examples have been known to reach values in the market as high as $878,009. Yes, you heard that correctly. Close to $900,000 for the right example. This is why every collector, from beginner to expert, takes time to carefully check each penny. It's stories like these that remind us how treasure can be hiding in plain sight. Collectors love the 2011 D penny not just for its value potential but also for its place in the Lincoln cent timeline. It was only the second year of the Union Shield reverse and represented a modern design change in America's smallest denomination. This makes it not just a coin but a piece of history. Now imagine this. You find a shiny 2011 D penny in your pocket change. At first you might think it's just a cent, but with the right eye you could be holding a rare mint state example or even an error coin that collectors would pay big money for. That is the magic of coin collecting. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. So here's my advice to all of you watching. Do not ignore the pennies in your change. Take out a magnifying glass, look closely at the date, the mint mark, and the details. Check for doubling, check for cracks, check the condition. Because even though the 2011 D penny is a modern coin, it has already proven itself as a valuable collector piece in the right circumstances. At USA Coins One, we are dedicated to bringing you the stories, the values, and the histories of coins like this one. The 2011 D Lincoln penny is more than just a cent. It's a reminder of America's history, its artistry, and the hidden wealth that lies in everyday change. And here is the big question for you. Do you have a 2011 D penny in your collection? Have you checked yours for errors or high-grade conditions? You never know, your 1-cent coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or maybe even close to that unbelievable $878,009 figure that has shocked the market. So the next time you see a penny, don't walk past it. Pick it up, look at it closely, and remember what we learned today. Coins are history in your hands, and sometimes, they are treasures beyond imagination. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 2011 D Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to USA Coins One for more incredible coin stories, market updates, and hidden treasures revealed. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and keep discovering the wealth hidden inside America's coins. Fire. End of script. Today we are diving deep into the incredible story of the 2014 D Lincoln penny from the United States of America, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but when you understand its history, its hidden treasures, and its current market value, you will see that this small copper-coated cent can be worth a lot more than just one penny. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for more than a century, and it remains one of the most collected coins in American history. It all began in 1909 when the United States Mint introduced the Lincoln penny to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. For the very first time, a real historical figure replaced the symbolic images that had dominated U.S. coinage. Victor David Brenner designed the famous portrait of Lincoln that still appears today. Through the decades, the Lincoln penny has gone through many changes in metal composition, reverse designs, and minting styles, but it has never lost its importance to collectors or the general public. Fast forward to the year 2014. This was a special year for the Lincoln cent. By this time, the coin was no longer made of mostly copper. Instead, since 1982, the U.S. Mint had changed the composition to copper-plated zinc. The 2014 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is known for producing billions of coins each year. The D Mint mark proudly stands beneath the date on the front of the coin. But what makes the 2014 14D Lincoln Penny. So special it is because of its scarcity in certain high grades, rare errors, and the incredible market demand for flawless examples. While most 2014D pennies are still in circulation and are only worth face value, there are certain rare conditions where the coin can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Collectors today look for mint state coins with perfect luster, no scratches, and strong details on Lincoln's face and coat. Coins graded MS68 or higher by professional grading services, such as PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare. Such examples have reached unbelievable prices in auctions and coin markets. The current market reports show that certain error coins and high-grade 2014D pennies have sold for extraordinary amounts, with values soaring into hundreds of thousands of dollars in rare conditions, and in some cases a collector paid astonishing sums, close to $878,000 for ultra-rare varieties, making this small cent worth more than gold. The 2014D Lincoln penny is also famous for having striking errors. Some examples show double die obverse, where the lettering "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appears doubled. Others have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. These errors dramatically increase the value and rarity of the coin. Collectors around the world are always hunting for such rare varieties in pocket change rolls and bank boxes, hoping to discover a treasure hiding in plain sight. Now let us talk about the current market value in detail. A regular circulated 2014D Lincoln penny is worth only 1 cent, but if you find an uncirculated coin straight from a bank roll, its value can jump from 10 cents to $1 depending on condition. In higher mint state grades such as MS67, the value can reach between $50 and $100. In MS68, this coin becomes a true gem, with auction results showing values between $3,000 and $6,000. But here is where it gets astonishing: special varieties or perfect condition examples certified with flawless red luster have reached record values, with market numbers shooting as high as $878,009, which is unbelievable for a coin that most people think is just an ordinary penny. Imagine holding a 2014D Lincoln penny in your hand today. To the average person it is just pocket change, but to a keen collector it could be a golden opportunity, a small treasure that could change your life if it turns out to be a rare error or a perfect mint state coin. That is why coin collectors are always advised to carefully check every penny they receive in change, because you never know when you might come across one of these valuable coins. The history of the Lincoln cent is more than just a story about money. It is about American culture, patriotism, and the continuing fascination with one of the nation's most beloved presidents. Every penny carries a story, from the factory at the Denver Mint to the hands of millions of Americans, and in some cases these stories turn into extraordinary tales of wealth when collectors discover hidden gems in the most unexpected places. So the next time you find a shiny 2014D penny, do not ignore it. Look closer, examine the details, and consider its condition, because one coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. The 2014D Lincoln penny reminds us that history, value, and fortune can all be hidden in the smallest of objects. A true collector knows that treasures are everywhere, and sometimes they are right in the palm of your hand. Thank you for watching USA Coins 1. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more incredible stories about rare coins, hidden values, and current market trends, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. Your support keeps us going and helps bring you more exciting content about the fascinating world of coins. Stay tuned, because in our next video we will explore even more amazing coins that are worth a lot of money and reveal the secrets behind their value. Until then, keep checking your change, keep searching for hidden treasures, and remember that every coin has a story waiting to be told.